am your friendly neighborhood Canadian, and I would like to share with you some of my opinions I have on Batman and Robin. It has been 29 years since this has come out, and I guess the question is it really that bad? Let's talk about it.
All right, everyone, chill.
We're going to try and go through the pros and cons of this movie, try to see if it stands up, or is it still just a big pile of shit that everybody thinks it is. It has I think it's a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.5 on IMDb. But does it deserve it? Who knows? Let's talk about it. Now, I was 15 when this movie came out. I remember loving it at the time. I remember talking about it and being like, oh my god, it was good. I was a stupid teenager. A few years later, I realized that this is absolutely horrible. What did they do to Batman? You know, what is with this? Now, with a couple more years on me, I've come to the realization that it's not great, but I don't think it's as bad as everybody says it is. It's definitely not as bad as that I can remember. I had just recently watched it to get in touch, to get rehashed with it, and so I think I'd like to talk about it a little, get to it. So let's start with the cast. Let's start with George Clooney.
This is why Superman works alone.
So, even back when I didn't quite like it, I always thought George Clooney was going to be a great Batman. I always thought he could be a great Batman and Bruce Wayne. Like, he has the charisma, he has the charm, he's suave, he has the look of a billionaire. You know, the perfect examples of this is probably the Ocean's movies, where he's almost just playing a straight Bruce Wayne who's just stealing shit. A great example of him being a badass Batman is From Dusk Till Dawn. And even the Peacemaker in Three Kings, he really showed he can kick ass. Now, the only movies that he had done prior to this was From Dusk Till Dawn and One Fine Day, but he was also known as Dr. Ross on ER, which that's where he was going, but he wasn't a huge name. But watching all the movies he's done now, and in retrospect, if he had the chance to, in a better movie, he could have been a great Bruce Wayne Batman. Then we have Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he's in this. He is Mr. Freeze.
Allow me to break the ice. My name is Freeze. Learn it well, for it's the chilling sound of your doom.
Now, I can understand the casting choice because everybody in this was pretty well the start of their careers. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger was already huge, you know, Terminator, Total Recall. I think he'd done True Lies by then, but I'm not sure. But either way, 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger, you really couldn't get better as an action star. Now, the bad thing about him here is that Mr. Freeze was not a bodybuilder type. In any of the iterations of Mr. Freeze, he was a normal guy. He was normal, average size. He wasn't lifting weights between doing science shit. So I don't know where it came in that they needed to make a big hulking guy. I think even back then, I remember having discussion with friends, and we always thought Patrick Stewart, Captain Picard, was going to be the best version of a Mr. Freeze, the Shakespearean actor. He has the great balance of being a villain and being a good guy. I can truly see him in the role, and even some of the YouTube videos I've seen of people doing trailers for a Batman 3 or a Batman 4 and having Mr. Freeze, it always seems to be Patrick Stewart doing that role. That would have been great casting, and even if you see Star Trek First Contact, Patrick Stewart is fairly built. He's not like a small guy. He had muscles. He could have played the role really good. And I also wish they would have gone with more of a Batman animated series style, whereas he is not covered in armor. He is like a normal refrigeration suit with the standard helmet, which would have been pretty cool. Now, one of the great things I did like about Arnie, liked, in this movie is that he gave himself to the role.
No, I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. Ten Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch.
Come on, sing! Louder, come on, sing, sing, sing! Come on! Yes, come on, louder!
He gave himself 100% to this role. He chewed up all the scenery he could possibly get. He was the pun lord in this movie. He didn't hold back. You could tell he was having a lot of fun with it. You could tell that he really he enjoyed it. I think he really liked it. A huge plus in this casting is the return of Michael Goth as Alfred. Goth, not too sure, but let's say Michael Goth. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Throughout the series, he has been the heart of every movie. He's had great chemistry with everybody who's portrayed Bruce Wayne, from Michael Keaton to Val Kilmer and now George Clooney. He's always been there. His performance here is heartwarming. It's heartbreaking because he is dying. He is absolutely fantastic. There's no shortage of praising him in this role. Like, he was on a whole nother level with just doing this stuff. Even the scenes that he had with Alicia Silverstone as his niece Barbara was very well. You can tell those two played nice off each other too. But now, as a side note, the entire Batman franchise, going back to '66 and right through to the Batman, the 2022, my favorite portrayals of the Alfred Batman Bruce Wayne relationship has been the animated series. I think those two had the best chemistry, had the best relationship. They played off each other really well. Alfred was a sarcastic guy. He told it as it was. He wasn't afraid to put Bruce in his place. You could feel the love and respect towards those two. And it also is in no small part to the talents of Kevin Conroy and Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., who portrayed those roles.
Bruce Saab?
Those guys were absolutely fantastic in that role. Then we have Uma Thurman as Poison Ivy is great in this. She really gives it her all as well. She's unhinged. She's sexy. She's kind of over the top, but in the way it does kind of fit with the character.
Toxins had a rather unique effect on me. They replaced my blood with aloe, my skin with chlorophyll, and filled my lips. With venom. Oh, and Jason, one other thing. I probably should have mentioned this earlier. I'm poison. It's a jungle in here.
You've got Alicia Silverstone, who was also great. She didn't make it her own, I don't think. She felt kind of awkward in a couple of times, but she did do a good job. You can kind of tell that she was maybe struggling with some of the lines just from her delivery of them. I'm not too sure, but she didn't do a bad job. She did a pretty good job. Her stunts were pretty good, assuming she was doing most of those, which I think she did pretty well, a lot of them. Maybe not the splits, but she was I did like her in that role. I didn't like what was going on with her at the time with all the hate she was getting. That's just so stupid, and I wish that didn't happen with her. But you know, trolls are going to be trolls regardless if the internet is around or in its infancy or not. I mean, look what happened with Batman '89 with Michael Keaton. One of the biggest crimes in this film is Bane. This cannot be defended. Bane should have never been in this movie. Bane is without a doubt one of Batman's greatest adversaries. He is smart, he's dangerous, he's calculating. He's the one who was able to break Batman in one of the best Batman stories I've read, which was Nightfall. Second to that is probably No Man's Land. But yeah, Bane was one of the greatest villains that Batman had, and here they turned him into a mindless brute with absolutely no redeeming qualities of the character. That is one of the biggest fails in this movie. It's absolutely horrible. Getting back onto a good note, John Glover makes a cameo appearance in this, and anything John Glover does is fantastic. It's absolutely the best that you can get. Him is Dr. Woodrow in this. He is fantastic. He's hilarious.
Do you hear me? You psycho!
Well, I can respect your opinion. Sadly, I'm not good at rejection. I'm afraid you'll have to die.
He is no stranger to the DC Universe because before this, he was also the Riddler in Batman the Animated Series. I believe after this, he went on to Smallville as Lionel Luthor, and he also had an appearance in Shazam. I can't remember the character's name, but he was in there, and he was really good in that too. But yeah, John Glover, love him. Can't say anything bad about him. If you haven't seen Gremlins 2, go see Gremlins 2. Now, once we go on to the sets, they're honestly not bad. It's a very interesting take on Gotham City. It's very colorful. It's very large. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. It's strange, and it's very weird with all the statues. There are statues all over the place. You can drive down them if you break through them, I guess. But that's an interesting take on it. I mean, we saw it a little in Batman Forever, but not to this extent. They're just all over the place. But this city gives me really interesting Fifth Element vibes, which happened to be released the same year in �97. And by what I mean by that is that there doesn't seem to be a ground. Everything is high. Everything is up. There's balconies. There's tunnels. Everything is high. You can never really see the ground, so you don't even know where it is. Even when they do the overshots and you're looking straight down, you don't see anything. Sorry for showing you my bald head there, but I didn't have much of a choice. The really good thing about this is that I would like to think, and I don't know for certain, but I like to think this and the animated series was an inspiration for the Arkham City game. Because when you're going through Arkham City, and even Arkham Knight, when you're going around the cities, that's very the same aesthetic, is that everything is high, everything is built on platforms, everything is high up. So I would very much like to think that Arkham City took the inspiration from this and animated, because that makes this movie a little bit better too, thinking that it went on to inspire that. The fight scenes in this movie are pretty good. The choreography isn't too bad. It's pretty good what they're doing in rubber suits or foam rubber suits, however they made them this time. They're a little bit easier to move, it looks like. The motorcycle race is pretty damn good, not gonna lie, up until that very ending, which, whatever. The race was pretty good. Especially if, it's shoehorned in. It doesn't feel like it belongs, but it's there, and it kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't. I don't know if it takes you out of the movie because it's Barbara racing or doing stuff like that. I mean, they kind of set it up that she's a motorhead, but I don't think they do a great job in doing that, but it's there. One of the really bad things is the CGI in this movie. It's pretty shit. A lot of the CGI scenes that they did were very bad. Even some of the practical stuff, you can tell they're on wires with just the way they're flying. They're not going down, they're not going up. It's like the one shot where Robin is going towards the rocket. He's just going straight on. Like, there's no move. You tell he's on wires. But CGI this movie is a problem. And think about it, this is 1997, which is 3 or 4 years after Jurassic Park, which had fantastic CGI and special effects. And then you get shots like this. Now, the biggest problem in this movie, and if you know anything about this movie and have watched the special features, then you know the biggest problem with this was studio interference. After Batman Returns, studios really wanted to go family friendly, kids friendly, and that's why Forever was a little watered down, but this one went full on water. They really took a lot of stuff out of it. They didn't want to go crazy with the darkness. Joel Schumacher, he is a hell of a director. Like, he got a lot of flack for this, and he even apologized on the special features, which shows, you know, what kind of man he was. He's like, if I disappointed anyone, I'm truly sorry. He is a terrific. He was a terrific director. He did Flatliners, The Time to Kill, The Client, Phone Booth, plus many more, which I'm missing. Even Forever was okay. I've seen the cut scenes that he did, which were supposed to be added in. I know that there's a director's cut that's floating around out there. I haven't seen it, but from all accounts of what I heard, it is terrific. I remember seeing a video with Kevin Smith. He's saying he saw it, and it's absolutely fantastic with what they've added in. But for this one, the studio wanted a 100% kid-friendly movie. They wanted to sell toys. They wanted a lot of merchandising. I think it's because they wanted Forever. I don't think it wasn't a dud by any means, but it wasn't a hit. And I think they wanted to make sure that if this one didn't perform well, they wanted to make their money somewhere. And all that had to come down to merchandising. So.
Merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
I mean, one of the biggest what the fuck moments in this movie is it's an interesting choice, but why did Barbara give the computer an orgasm by pegging it? Has anybody ever thought that was a little weird, or is it just me? Yeah, it might just be me, but I think a lot of people think that's kind of weird. Yeah, she's going. Yeah, well, here it is. Yeah.
Peg.
Access allowed.
She's enjoying getting pegged in there. So, the ending in this movie is pretty out there. They're using the satellites in orbit to move the sunlight between the other side of the world.
It's midnight. The telescope's gone. There's no way to thaw the city.
Satellites could be positioned to thaw the city directly, but that'd take a computer genius.
I'm on it.
Coming in. Satellites don't work like that. I'm pretty sure they don't have reflectors that can reflect sunlight, or I don't think sunlight works like that. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. From what I've seen is, sunlight doesn't work like that. But, I mean, it's a comic book movie. There is a certain suspension of disbelief, and then there's batshit crazy. And I do think that this falls into the realm of batshit crazy and not suspension of disbelief. So there's that. This scene at this ending kind of falls into what the movie kind of should have been marketed in. It's not a sequel to the series previous, but it should have been marketed as a continuation of the 60s Batman, the Adam West series, where everything is colorful, everything is outrageous. I don't know if you can make out my 60s Batman and Robin sitting on the shelf there next to my Keaton Batman over there. But yeah, it should have been marketed as a 60s because this movie has so much stuff that is reminiscent of the 60s. From the set pieces, from the characters, the villains, like Mr. Freeze's pun after pun after pun, that's straight out of 60s stuff. Even like the ending, if anybody has seen the 66 Batman and the ending of that where they disintegrate the UN delegates or wherever they were from, and with the dehydrator, that's the word, that's what I was thinking of when I was starting this. That's pretty batshit crazy. And then Batman and Robin, at the end of that, they have to rehydrate them and put them back together, which that falls into the same batshit crazy as this kind of fell into, where they have to redirect sunlight to melt the city. So there's that. Now, this is my summary. Here's the summary that I'm going to give to you guys regarding Batman and Robin 1997. It is by no means a great film. I would say it's probably 50% bad, ranging from cringe to just plain straight bad. I would give it about 50% of being good, and ranging from an excellent to a meh. Excellent being the motorcycle scene is really good, Alfred is really good. There is some good lines, there's some good acting between George Clooney and Alfred, there's some good acting between Alfred and Barbara Alicia Silverstone. There's some good stuff peppered throughout the movie, from fight scenes, which are really good. Poison Ivy and Uma Thurman are really good. The music is really good, with the exception of one of the songs, which states Gotham City, the city of peace and light, or whatever that is. Like, what the fuck is that? I don't remember who wrote the song, but has he ever seen Batman? Gotham City is not the city of love. It's a city of, like, craziness and violence. That's why Batman is there. He's not there to protect love. I wish he was, but he's not. That's a stupid ass song. A lot of the bad stuff is, Bane really takes at least 1 star off of this movie. If you were to find it a 5-star movie and then had Bane in there, I would take off a star. It was, that's kind of the biggest thing. The CGI is pretty subpar. The studio interference, that's a huge thing. I wish studios are given the money, which is fine, but I really wish they would just let creators make their movies. Don't get involved. Watch the dailies if you have to. Maybe give opinions, but don't take over and make it what you want. They probably would do a little bit better. I think in this case, if they gave Joel Schumacher carte blanche, I think he would have made a fantastic Batman film. Like, you've seen his filmography in the past. He can do drama, he can do action, he can do the comedy, he can blend it really well. I think he could have made, like, a very excellent Batman film. Again, look at Forever. It wasn't horrible, it wasn't great, but again, his Forever, his director's version of Forever is said to be much better than what we got. I mean, if you're expecting to go into this movie expecting a straight continuation from the Burtonverse with Keaton and Kilmer, you're not going to get it. It's not that type of movie. If you're going to go into it and think this is a continuation of Batman and Robin from 1966, get that vibe from it, I think you're going to have a really good time. I started doing that, and I really got into it, and I really started to be like, okay, again, this isn't horrible. I mean, some of it is cringeworthy, but you're thinking, okay, this is the Adam West Batman. This is a recasting of the Adam West Batman. I think that would be you'd get a very different vibe going into it. I don't know how many people would agree with me on that. I'm not sure how many people went into this film actually getting that mindset. I know a few people I talked to, they're saying, hey, if you go into this thinking it's 60s Batman, you're gonna have a fun time. All they need is those little Pam and Bam boxes show up every once in a while. But that's how they should have marketed this too, is as it's a spoof, not a spoof, but it's not a serious take anymore on Batman. So that's what I'm thinking. I mean, this isn't the Batman that I grew up with, because I grew up with Keaton. I was born in 82, so Keaton was my Batman. Keaton is still my Batman. Michael Keaton to me is the perfect Batman. He plays Bruce Wayne perfectly. He plays Batman really well. He's right there. Which way am I facing here? He's there, right there. See him? Yeah, right there. That's my Batman. I love Keaton. I love Michael Keaton and everything. He's a fantastic actor, and damn, I wish he would do more. I got chills when I saw him in The Flash. Like, and say what you will about The Flash, I personally like the movie, but just seeing Michael Keaton back on the big screen as Batman, oh man, that was epic for me, because I don't remember seeing Batman '89 in the theaters, but to see Keaton back as Batman, that was loved it. So even if you grew up with Bale, Christian Bale was pretty decent Batman, and he played as Bruce Wayne pretty loony, I should say, aloof. But if you grew up with that Batman, you're not going to like the George Clooney Batman in this film, unless you've maybe seen the 60s Batman and kind of like that, and then you'll get into it. So, keep an open mind with this movie, especially going into it if you're thinking that it is, the 60s continuation of Batman. I personally give this movie a 2.5 out of 5 on my, I think I have it as 2.5 on my Letterboxd. It's half good. Yeah, it really is. I do really believe that is half good. I mean, it missed quite a bit, but it also got quite a few things right. And as the older I get, I can see that now, what he was trying to do. I can also, make the comparisons, and I've started to give it a little bit more respect than I gave back in the day. So, yeah, that's my take on it. What do you guys think? Be happy to hear your comments. Be respectful, please. There's no reason to, go all troll on me. Feel free to leave a comment. Keep the convo going. Let's hear all your stuff. If anybody does happen to watch this, like and subscribe if you could. I'm going to try to make a series out of this of what, Is It Still Bad? That's what I'm going to call it. Or, yeah, I think Is It Still Bad is a good name, because a lot of movies that were bad when they first came out are people love now. I mean, look at The Thing. The Thing was panned so bad back in '82 when it came out, and now it's beloved by almost everybody. The Thing is such a great movie. John Carpenter, it's fantastic. So, I'm going to try to do these once or twice a month, depending on how busy I get. But the next one I have coming is this guy here. So, until next time, guys, this is your friendly neighborhood Canadian, just saying, enjoy the movies, have a good time, and we will see you later.
Good night.